Hello there. Today is Tuesday, September the 20th, 2016, and it is the fifth episode of my personal blog, Articulate Thoughts. And today's episode is entitled Let the Music Speak. And I have two ideas that I kind of want to talk about today that relate to this phrase. So the first one relates to uh, DJs and their live sets or whatever, like when you go see them in concert or music festivals and stuff. So the phrase "let the music speak" was introduced to me by a friend who went to EDC. So for people who are not in the electronic music scene, so EDC is a very, very popular music festival that happens out of Las Vegas in the United States. So they do it every June or something around there. So a bunch of promoters got together around like 2006 or 2007 or something like that, and they just said, hey, let's get the best DJs, get the best lighting, production, and all this other stuff, and just make a really, really big party. And they basically took the idea of like a carnival and a rave and put it together, and had really, really, really huge success and really helped promote the dance music culture, and it's gotten really, really big. And now they have a venue in Las Vegas. I believe it's like a Formula One racing track, so they use that venue, and somewhere around 100,000 people go to it every year at this point. I'm not exactly sure if that's like the exact number, but it's pretty big. It's like tens and tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people go to this thing nowadays, or years, in the most modern events. So anywho, the phrase "let the music speak." There was this one DJ named Cascade who got on stage, had his set after, I think it was Axwell, and then throughout Axwell's set, he's the type of DJ who would get the crowd ramped up and try to, get everybody excited by, cutting out the music and grabbing a microphone and saying, "Put your hands up, make some noise, holla!" Just screaming stuff into the mic and like kind of yelling commands at the crowd. And I just kind of feel it's a very ego-based thing to do as a DJ, as a performer. You should be using music as a way of expressing yourself and not have to, command the crowd like that. I find it really annoying. It does also ruin the flow of the music, because often when they do say, like, you put your hands up in the air or whatever they want to say, it's when the build up is happening, and then there's tension building up, and then when you just cut the music out and then suddenly yell into the mic, it just ruins the momentum of that build up. And then when the drop happens, it's just, you lost the momentum, and like you don't have that feeling. The feeling's gone. You killed it. So I think it's more detrimental to the music than anything else. But hey, if you're a DJ getting paid tens of thousands of dollars to be on stage for an hour, and then you have tens of thousands of people showing up paying hundreds of dollars to be there, it goes to your head. You get ego driven or whatever. But so Axwell plays this set and he's doing that thing, and then Cascade comes out on after and he says, "I will never tell you to make noise. Let the music speak." And then his set begins. And when my friend told me that, like, what? And Cascade is one of the more humble DJs in the scene. I feel. Seen some short documentaries and read some things, and I know he's a devout Mormon, and his spirituality is very. It's a driving force in his music making, and if you listen to his stuff, it has more of a lot of like airy, etherical type of nature to it, and like it's very uplifting. And I could see how his connection with God or the universe or just his spirituality is integrated into music, and it creates a very, very nice sound. And yeah, and like I think that's a very common trend in music festivals nowadays. Just a lot of these DJs, they get paid tens of thousands of dollars and go to these music festivals and get a 1 hour set and whatever, and they just want to try and stand out so much, and they want crowds to go crazy, and like they want it's just everyone's caught up in this whole thing. And then I feel a lot of people kind of forget about the music. Like the music becomes like a secondary thing, and this is one of the reasons why I don't go to as many raves or shows or parties or whatever you want to label them, like where you buy a concert ticket to see a DJ. It doesn't appeal to me nearly as much as it used to a few years ago. for that reason. Like I remember I went to another music festival in Toronto called Digital Dreams, and it was a very similar thing. I was at it, I was in the crowd, and the DJ cut off the music, and he just was talking about how he wanted to get everyone hyped up, and he got everyone to like. It was the weirdest thing. Like he told everyone to like kneel down, and everyone knelt down, and then like when the drop happened, he told everyone to jump up, and it was just this weird thing, man. It was just like it felt like everyone was just idolizing or like worshiping this DJ because he was on stage and he has like all this power, and anything he yells into the mic, everyone wanted to go along with it, and it just felt weird. I felt like, hey man, I'm not paying hundreds of dollars to be here and being told what to do and have it was just weird. Like I don't know, I didn't really enjoy that kind of vibe, so I went to a different stage and then where the DJs just played their music and did their thing, and that was it. So that's like my opinion on like festivals and what's kind of going on in the music scene, and how some DJs are not letting the music speak entirely, but they're using their own personal voice and their ego to speak. So that's just my opinion. With the next idea that I want to talk about that relates to the phrase "let the music speak" is like instrumental music. Um, Personally, for me, like I really really like instrumental music. I think like the beauty of art, it's a co-creative experience. There's this artist who has a certain skill set, and they have some kind of idea or thought, or they have some kind of life event, and they have some kind of feeling that they need to express, and they use this art and skill to communicate that, and then they create a piece and they present it, and the audience consumes it however it's consumed, and the audience kind of has its own experience with it, and that is like the creation of the art entirely. It's kind of like you know the artist is on one end and takes it halfway, and then that's like the finished piece, and then the audience kind of takes it and then has their own experience and completes the process. And I feel like instrumental music kind of encapsulates that entirely. I feel like with a lot of like vocal music, it's just I get so sucked into like the storyline that the artist is, and I don't necessarily have as much of my um like experience with it. Like my experience is like through the artist as opposed to like meeting halfway. And I think this is just when I was growing up, a lot of music that influenced me when I was growing up was video game music, and video in those days, like it was just like text and script on a screen and music, and the music helped bring the emotion of the story to life. Nowadays it's like they have like this high tech graphics and audio dialogue and all this stuff, and it's just like watching a movie. But for me, like I think it's just this there's something intrinsic about music and storytelling that's just intertwined together, and it goes hand in hand. And when you have vocals, like don't get me wrong, I do like music with vocals in it as well, but it's just like I find like my experiences with instrumental music, it goes much more deeper, and it's just a very very interesting thing for me because right now I was in a phase where I kind of go in and out of it, and right now there's like this one particular artist. I've had this one song that I bought off on, and which says a lot because like I don't buy music a whole lot. I've only bought it like online in the past 2 years, maybe like two or three times. So I bought this one song and I've had it on repeat since Friday, and today's Tuesday. So like I've listened to it like all the time, and it just makes me feel a certain way. And it's just this thing about listening to the music, and I'm just kind of tuning into my own experience and like having that create it for me instead of having a set of lyrics, and the way a singer sings the vocals, it like create the experience for me. So um, yeah, I just want to share that kind of input. That's kind of what's going on in my world right now. Is just like instrumental music and like letting music speak, and it's very interesting to have all these like really great experiences in my life, and then have a piece of music that helps me like identify all these good times and good memories, and kind of imbue them into a piece of music. And it's been something I've been doing for like a long time, and it's very very helpful and very useful for me. Like if I play a song, like it just I have all these flashbacks, and like all the feelings that I felt during that time like comes back, and I feel it's a very very useful tool to utilize. And I think that's a part of the mystery of music and like the power of music is like it could be used in these kinds of ways. But yeah, so that is all I have for this topic of conversation. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you got something out of it. And yeah, I will see you next week, or maybe you'll see me, or both. All right, take care.